Jump Ship, formerly known as Hyperspace, is a game that we covered a few months ago back on the channel, but back then there wasn't too much news. Now there's a Steam page and a whole host of new news about the game, including obviously the name change. Now I know this isn't a Bethesda title, but it is something that we covered back on the channel a while ago, so I figured we'd keep it on this one, and as it is relatively similar in terms of it is a mission-based game with a lot of space exploration and combat to it, just like Starfield. I'm also thinking about checking out Star Citizen in comparison to Starfield, but I'm not too sure about that one yet. If anybody has an experience with that game, let me know down in the comments below. Now, if you are a fan of space games and Bethesda stuff, subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video and stick around for more. Now, Jump Ship was announced a few months ago as Hyperspace. There wasn't too much news on the game other than a few short trailers that the team had published on their Twitter or X feed. So many name changes, it's hard to keep up these days. But what we do now know is this is a mission-based co-op FPS game for up to 4 players, which will see you crewing a spaceship, which has you fighting through different planets, exploring different areas, engaging in massive battles with your ship and both on foot. The game is very heavily mission-based and it will be 4-player co-op, but you can play it solo. There is no PvP to this game, nor is there anything like that planned as far as I can tell. Now, the newest part is, as I mentioned, a Steam page, which unfortunately doesn't have a release date yet, but it's still being developed and published by Keepsake Games. So if you do want to check the game out and wishlist it, make sure you go down in the description below and head over there, give it a wishlist. Looks really, really interesting. Now, the team have said the main features of the game are jumping across the universe, select a variety of handcrafted missions with random elements, and no 2 runs are going to be exactly the same. You'll be able to seamlessly transition between on and off of your ship. You can switch between operating it, spacewalking, and on-foot planetary exploration without any loading screens, something which, yep, well, we all know Starfield is full of those. You'll be able to also upgrade, maintain and repair your ships as you scavenge for parts to upgrade it, repair it or adapt it to fit your needs, which is very interesting. We could see certain mods going into the ships that allow us to travel to distant planets, and that's how certain missions would be locked. Now, when it comes to those missions, they do look really interesting. It looks like there's going to be a nice mix of ship combat as well as disembarking the ship and exploring ruins that are dotted around various planets that you'll see. Now, that is good, and it looks like the locations are pretty mixed as well, which I like. Not the, copy and paste that Starfield has. So a decent mix where we can wander around and we've got a different run each and every time. As they said, certain things will change on the missions, so no one run will be the same. But I think if you still have the same location with just a couple of varying enemies and some varying elements against you, then it still pretty much is the same location. So hopefully there's a decent chunk of different bits that we'll go through. And as I said, whether the storyline is there, whether it's a massive story or whether it's just pretty much a looter sort of space shooter at the moment, yet to be seen. It is going into early access, so we could see a big development cycle where they add main story bits as they progress through. But we'll have to wait and see. Now, between the missions and to upgrade your ship, you're going to want to be going back to your hangar. Now, your hangar is sort of like the central hub from what we've seen so far, where you'll be able to go there, upgrade and change parts of the ship and outfit yourself and your crew with certain things. How that's going to work, whether we're going to have to go out and loot for certain things such as weapons and armor, or whether that's something that we go out and scavenge for bits for and then craft them back at our hangar, is yet to be seen. But it does seem like upgrading our ship will be done only at the hangar so far. Now, I don't think it's going to be a sort of looter shooter, so we're going to go out and get weapons and all those parts. Whether those new items are going to be tied behind missions, so we're going to have to go out, do the mission, and then at the end you get a reward such as a new ship part, is yet to be seen. And whether there's going to be a major overarching story on the actual missions themselves, or whether they're going to be going out, getting equipment, sort of like raids, coming back to upgrade the ship, is also unknown. I'm very excited to find out more news on that part. But when it comes to the actual ship itself, similar to Starfield, you're going to have to focus certain energies and parts of the ship to enhance your attack capabilities or move quicker. It's completely up to you how you sort of refine that ship, and depending on your playstyle, what elements you'll want to it. And obviously, depending on the mission that you're going on, as you've seen in a bit of the trailer, there are some elements where you go stealth and avoid other enemy ships rather than going into fully fledged combat and blowing the shit out of everything in the sky. So maybe we'd need to constantly adapt our ship to the missions that we're going on. I do hope that is the way we go, similar with like the heat and things like that, and whether that's something we're going to need to tend with. How much detail they're going to put into the ships and how the sort of effects on the star system's take on it is yet to be seen. But hopefully they go a hell of a lot more detailed than what Starfield did. As mentioned at the start of the video, Star Citizen is something that's really interested me because it does seem very detailed and in-depth. Now, as the game is solo and 4-player co-op, there are many ways that you can pilot your ship and take on enemies. Now, they have said it's fully playable solo, but obviously in some parts of these trailers you do see other players in the guns whilst somebody is piloting it. So is there a sort of autopilot or auto-turret feature that we're going to have as a solo player? Or will it be AI teammates that don't really fly too well or shoot too well either? Hopefully it's a mix of the two, so sort of automated ship where you can set a course and it will head that way, or automated turrets where you can control from or have them control themselves. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm excited to see how they handle that solo. I do play a lot of my games solo. I do enjoy it that way because I've got freedom. I'm not relying on anybody else, and I'm not having to follow anyone around or wait for people to do certain bits. You can just go at your own speed. So I think how they handle that solo aspect is going to be quite important for, well, obviously the solo players. If we do have useless AI that can't hit anything or flying your ship into rocks constantly, it's going to be a pain in the ass. But I'm very excited to see how they handle it. Now, what do you guys think of Jump Ship? Let me know in the comments down below. And are you looking forward to all of the Bethesda stuff that's coming in April? We obviously have the show, the Fallout show, which is coming on the 11th. Fallout London. There's loads of good stuff, but unfortunately, still no news on Shattered Space. I was hoping we'd see something on Shattered Space by now, or at least something for the Creation Hub, but unfortunately not. Either way, let me know what you think about Jump Ship and Starfield in the comments down below. For now though, I've been Cowboy, you've been awesome, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.